Hey everybody, I'm Preston Wilson of PW23 Fitness. I am the builder and the owner, and I've gotten a lot of requests for a platform, which we're gonna do today. One of the first questions I always get asked, whether it's before somebody orders or after they order, and I show up to deliver or install, is they say, couldn't I have done this myself? And the answer to that is yes. 100% you can do it yourself for two reasons. This is America and you're fucking awesome. So let's go through it and take a look at what you need, how to put it together. Honestly, this is a lot more, it feels a lot more daunting than it actually is. So the first thing that you're gonna need is you're gonna need 3 pieces of just regular 3/4 inch plywood, and then get yourself 1 sheet of a nicer 3/4 inch plywood. I use what's called radiata pine. It's just a sanded piece of plywood from Lowe's. It does really great. It's ready to be stained or painted or whatever you want to do. Add your logo. Total 4 pieces of plywood, 3 just regular ones, 1 fancy pants. You need to leave 1 sheet completely full. You need to cut 2 of the sheets down to 6 foot, and then save those little pieces that fall off the bottom, and then cut your top piece 6 foot as well. So you can find these online from different fitness companies for like $1 million, or you can go to Tractor Supply and pick one up for 45 to 50 bucks. Ask them for a 3/4 inch, 4 foot by 6 foot stall mat. When you get it home, you're gonna have to cut it yourself. That is the hardest part, but it's the one where you need the easiest tools. You just need your tape measure to measure it and cut it in half into 2 foot by 6 foot sections. After you've measured it and kind of marked your line, you'll need a razor knife and a straight edge. But basically, after you get your marks put down, you just hold this here, and you're just gonna have to go over and through here a few times until you feel like you've gotten all the way through the piece of rubber. So now what we've moved on to is putting the first layer of the lifting platform down. So what you're gonna wanna do in this first layer is you take those 2 pieces of regular plywood that you cut down to 6 foot, take those and put them horizontally, this, you know, like that, wherever you want them to go. This is the time to start being like, is this exactly where I want this to be? Because once you get all the other pieces on, it's really heavy. Probably not, you're just like, fuck it, I'm leaving it alone. This is the second layer. I always take a 4x8 sheet and put it down towards the bottom of the first 2 that I put down. This is a good opportunity to make sure everything's squared up and the pieces aren't crooked. Get these 2 little guys and put them in the remaining space. Then put some screws in there. Now that we have the bottom layer on and the second layer just sitting there, we get to start fastening that together. You really only want to use screws that are 1 1/4 inch or at the most like 1.5 inches long. If each one of these layers are 3/4 inch, that's only 1.5 inches, and these are going to sink a little bit. So if it's not going into a wood floor like this one or concrete, you might be poking through there. So to prevent that from happening, I would just say get you a box of 1 1/4 inch screws. Now, when screwing it, this is the time that you want to make sure that everything is square. And then put you a couple down the middle. Make sure all the screws are sunken in and not sticking up. Now we're ready to put on this top layer, the pretty layer, the one that we all see and love. Measure over from each corner 24 inches and give yourself a little mark on the front and back. What that mark is for is so that you have a nice little indicator. You have 4 corners marked off where you can line that piece of wood up and it won't be all wonky or cockeyed or whatever cool word means crooked. Lay it down, hit each corner, and make sure that it's straight. So you want to take the edge that you did not cut, the outside edge, and butt that up against your piece of pretty plywood. Now the reason that I said butt the piece up that you did not cut, the outside edge, is because kind of no matter what you do, whenever you cut these stall mats, it's not going to be as pretty as when they cut them in the factory. You have a couple of, that's Johnny, he's OSHA certified. It's cool. Go easy with your drill. The screw will go straight through this rubber mat and all the way into the wood and not be holding anything. So just kind of watch it. Go easy with your drill. If you have any questions, you can always send a message to me, PW23fitness@gmail.com. Thanks for joining me, and we'll think of another do-it-yourself project to do next time.